Now, I was playing Necrons, but, you know, forgive me for my sins. I am open to any sort of views on that. So if you're thinking, actually, Andy, there is no way Harlequins are able to take top 8, and let me tell you why. I'd love to hear that argument, actually. You know, if you could discount one of these 3 armies for me, please do. There's another faction. There's 2 more. Okay, the next one, I think I've already touched on them. Oh, my legs are asleep. Oh, damn. Hello everybody, Glass Half Dead here, and today I want to talk to you about how to pick a faction to play in a tournament. This video is going to break down into 3 pretty basic steps. 1, what army do you like the look of? 2, what army do you like the rules of? And 3, other considerations. If you can't tell, we're going to be spending a long time on point 3. Then after I've told you the considerations for yourself, I'm going to tell you the considerations for me and which are the 3 factions that I am personally considering taking all the way to not just my next local tournament, but hopefully, if possible, the next biggest real in-person tournament, which I assume is LVO, but it might be something else. If there's a bigger one, I want to go to that as well. Can you guess which 3 those are? See if you can guess before I say them. But you know what time it is. It's time for, if you are a subscriber of my channel, I would like to give you a big double hello. Yes, isn't that a lovely noise? Doesn't it make you feel very welcome? Isn't it very wholesome? It's something we could all use more of in our life. Well, if you want that in the next video, all you have to do is become a subscriber, leave a like and a comment, and then, for the next video onwards, that's all yours, baby. And I suppose I should quickly mention my new foreground, shouldn't I? Just a little bit of visual interest for you guys. And there's actually a battle report that I am filming right now. I've just gone into turn 3, but I decided to do a quick little chat video for you instead, because this will take ages. But this terrain I'm playing on was provided for me by Right Terrain Studio, link in the comment and description below. He makes custom kill team and 40k boards for your playing pleasure, I suppose. Go check him out. And of course, a big thanks to him for giving me this. Now we have to talk about the aesthetics first, because honestly, this is the real answer, okay? For 90% of people, how does the army look? That is the actual important thing for you. For this to not be the most important factor to you means that you need to want to win games. Not just be competitive, but win games. And if so, then I kind of question if that is genuinely the most important thing to you. Why are you playing Kill Team or 40k? I mean, this is kind of system agnostic advice, you know. Nothing I'm about to say is relevant only to Kill Team. We put so much time and effort into the hobby side of this game, and also so much money, that if you don't like how the army looks, there are probably better things that you could be spending your time and money on if winning is genuinely the most important thing to you. So, aesthetics, number 1 thing, in my opinion. Some people might absolutely hate the Egyptian style thing. No, not the Necrons, the other space Egyptians. Wow, GW is really original. So the aesthetic thing is entirely up to you, but genuinely that is the most important thing, especially in Kill Team, where almost every faction is, you know, like there is a tier. Some are better, some are worse, but I don't think there is any faction where you would 100% say they cannot, you know, go top 8 or something. Yes, I'm even including Kroot. In the correct format and with the right player, Kroot could go top 8. Like, that's not the craziest thing to happen in the world. So could Custodes, completely opposite teams. Second, you need to like the rules of your faction. Now, this is actually less important than the aesthetics for, I think, the reason that we all know, which is rules change. Now, of course, in Kill Team specifically, we're very lucky in that we play in a closed environment game, or at least we did until Pariah Nexus, and we don't have a roadmap, so we don't actually know what the future holds for us. But ignore that. We are a closed environment game. We don't get regular updates, which in this instance is a good thing. It means we know what game we're playing. This isn't 40k, where there's a complete change to the meta every 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is, where they update the points costs and change everything. We know what's what. Once we have our final expansion book, Elites, nothing changes, really. But if you're thinking about 40k, there are meta changes all the time, and that's where this advice really comes into its own. Do not pick an army based on rules unless you are okay with buying a second army at another time, because if you're buying an army in 40k for the rules, it's going to lose that very quickly. But in Kill Team, less of an issue. Personally, I like to focus on play style. I have a natural inclination towards armies that are good at killing things. I am naturally better at armies that kill things than are like fast and can move easily. For example, Azayani. I kind of suck when I play Azayani. Azayani are all about movement and they're fast, and I find that I'm better at killing things and focusing on that when I play games. And that's why I personally quite like glass cannon armies, for example, Grey Knights or Harlequins, because they kill things, and if they don't kill things, they die. And the movement side, while still important, you know, often you just get diced because you're a very elite army. And that's something that works well for me. And then we find ourselves at other considerations. Other considerations in my mind are, you know, kind of the meta of picking an army. For me, I think I've been quite vocal about this, but for me, specifically with Kill Team, I want something that I can paint without wanting to kill myself, but also that I can play both in Kill Team and in 40k. And I want it to be viable in both. And also, I'm a hipster. I'm a faction hipster. If everybody else says, hey, this faction's really, really strong, I just naturally lose interest in them. For example, right now is a perfect time. If you check out my community page, you will see that a week ago, I posted some kit bashes I did of Harlequin models, right? I think I did them really nice. They're looking good. I'm excited to paint them up. That's still happening, but they haven't delivered the red paint that I need, so I can't do it yet. Since I ordered my Harlequin army, like the full army for 40k, nobody was talking about them in Kill Team. Like, literally not a peep. You can go and look at the Harlequin channels in all of the Discords, or go check Reddit. No one's mentioning Harlequins, okay? So I buy the army, I'm happy with it, I'm feeling like an underdog, but I know that they're a solid team, so it's like, okay, yeah, this is good. And then also I know that in the upcoming LVO pack, they're going to be really strong there, for example, because there's no infinitely high terrain, so you're just going to be able, it's going to be absolute Harlequin domination. Anyway, so I'm happy about that purchase, that decision, it's all good. They turn up, I kit bash my team, so the team's ready to go, we just need to paint. And suddenly, I'm looking all through the Discords, and oh my gosh. Suddenly, because Uzical just started a new tournament, which is focusing on commanders in Arena, suddenly everybody's playing Harlequins. I was like, oh my god, and now everybody's talking about Harlequins, and everybody's realizing how good they are again. And like, guys, I had just... they're really killing Harlequins for me. Basically, I hope that people kind of come to the conclusion that Harlequins are only good in commanders and not in regular, where they're a little bit too glass cannony to be consistent. That's where I thrive. A glass cannon faction that people don't think are good enough to top table because you need the rolls more than you need skill. That's my team, buddy. That's me. Anyway, I'm really hoping that the Harlequin love dies down before LVO, basically. And, you know, there's like 8 months till that happens, so it probably will. But being a faction hipster is genuinely important for me. And I'm sure that there are many other factors that people need to consider, but those are the big ones for me. Faction hipster, viability in other systems, easy to hobby to a level where I can put them on camera and not feel ashamed of myself and not have comments saying, oh, those models suck, which, yes, does happen. Which brings us to the completely self-centered part of this video, where I am going to talk to you about what I want to do for my upcoming tournaments. Now, I have touched upon this a little bit in the past, but I figure this is my formal declaration of my intent going forwards, I suppose. I want to get back into competitive Kill Team. You know, things are opening up. I'm ready to get out there. This is exciting for me. And, you know, I did well at the last LVO, right? That was good for me. I kind of proved to people, hey, this guy vaguely knows how to play the game. That's nice. Now, I was playing Necrons, but, you know, forgive me for my sins. Now I want to take something else all the way. Not all the way. That sounds way too much. Top 8's fine. I don't need If I can get top 8, I've achieved whatever I need to do. But I want to do it properly. What this means is that I want to pick one faction and actually main it. Now, I've never done this before because I have major hobby and just competitive ADHD. As soon as I have taken a single faction and played a game and done a battle report for you guys, that's enough for me. I'm now bored of that faction. By the time I hit render on that video, I'm done with that faction. I'm not touching them again for a few months. But because I actually am going to try to genuinely be a competitive player, I need to pick a faction. Here are my 3 options. I think the first one's pretty obvious. They're right here in front of me. I have a full 40k army of them right here, just off camera. That is Thousand Suns. I think Thousand Suns have what it takes to go all the way. I mean, they did make top 8 at the last LVO, obviously, so they clearly do. I've obviously already found a scheme that I think makes their hobby side good, and I've already made the team, the kill team, so I don't need to worry about that anymore. And because of just how cool I think I've made my scheme, I'd be totally happy to play them in 40k. So they actually tick all the boxes. However, there's another faction. There's 2 more. Okay, the next one, I think I've already touched on them. Oh, my legs are asleep. Oh, damn. The other faction, I think you can probably guess, because I just said how they are like custom built to be my faction. That has to be Harlequins. I've just bought a full 40k army of them. It took me a while, but I discovered a scheme. I'm not going to paint diamonds. You know how much I hate hobby. So I've come up with a plan for them. They're basically, I'm going to paint them as if they are space vampires. So I'm just going to do red and black with like brass gold armor. And in my head, they're space vampires. And I think that works pretty well for me. I can make that work in 40k for a full army because I'm going to use some nice little kit bashes. I actually think the regular Harlequin troop players are just kind of goofy. So I'm using Blood Bowl elf models and they look awesome. From a kill team perspective, they obviously have what it takes. They're glass cannon, so you get a few bad rolls, you're done. But they have such amazing movement, and because of their flip belts, they actually don't have too much of a mental load for you to have to deal with in a tournament situation, which is pretty good. And in that regard, they are quite forgiving, which is always something that you should think about if you want to go top tables. Like, an easy army is going to net you wins just because by round 4 or 5, you're not brain dead, you know? Which brings us to the third option. I don't think anyone's going to see the third option coming. Take a moment, have a think. What other factions do I like? What other factions might be glass cannons? We know that I have Grey Knights lying around. Maybe I want to take them. We know I've done Necrons before. They're very durable. If you pay attention to my community tab, you might be thinking Death Guard. I actually do think Death Guard are really solid, but just like thematically, I'm not into them right now. And I'm not sure I can tackle the full 40k army with the paint scheme that I want. So they're actually turning me off of them for that reason. Let's think. No, nobody's going to guess this. Well, that's unless you watched my recent stream. Demons. Yeah, demons. Chaos demons. One of the strangest factions in Kill Team because they don't even have commanders, and I suspect that outside of TTS most people haven't even seen them on the table because they're one of the most expensive factions to start, because you need one model from like 4 boxes, and that's it. And there's one type of model that you need to buy 2 boxes just to be a viable, like a legal unit to take, because it splits into multiples from the other box. It's crazy. I don't know what they were thinking with that one. But anyway, they're an expensive faction, which means for Kill Team, they're pretty hipster. Have you seen demons on the table? Probably not. In 40k, I believe they are strong, which obviously is a negative from my perspective. But as the new 9th edition codexes have started to release, they have become less strong and don't seem to be topping tournaments anymore, which means they're being knocked down to hipster status, hopefully. And when it comes to hobby, I mean, actually, like, if I wanted to, I could just spray them all white and then just blood red on the Khorne, volupus pink on the Slanesh, plague bearer flesh on the Nurgle, And the blue that I use on literally everything that I've currently forgotten the name of on the Zinch. And that would be it. That would be the army. Full contrast. Super easy. I'm not going to do that because actually I've decided what I want to do is I'm going to spray them all white and then give them a white contrast. It's going to be an entirely white army of demons. And the only differentiation in like the god they follow is the left arm is going to be the color of their god, and then there's also going to be a little spot on the base. Anyway, let's not get into it. And I think that'll look fine. It'll be whatever, right? It's there. Oh, and they'll also all have black eyes because there's this like fun idea that like in the human consciousness as a species, like we all have a fear of a white face with black eyes, as if that's like some inherent thing that humans have learned to fear through like our genetic DNA. So that intrigues me. So, Thousand Sons, Harlequins, Chaos Demons. These are the 3 factions that I am considering. I am open to any sort of views on that. So if you're thinking, actually, Andy, there is no way Harlequins are able to take top 8, and let me tell you why. I'd love to hear that argument, actually. You know, if you could discount one of these 3 armies for me, please do. Or if you know more about 40k and can safely say that, Andy, actually, don't play Thousand Sons because 100% you will never win a game in 40k with them. And I know you, Andy, I can tell you're someone that you still need to win, even though you want to play an underdog faction. But if you genuinely never win a game, you will lose interest in 40k. And of course, if you've made it this far in the video, you know what's coming. That's right. Thank you very much. Genuinely, everybody that watches to the end of my videos, still a small channel. All the help you can give me is required, and watching the entire video is actually the biggest thing you can do, along with the like, subscribe, and a comment, obviously. But I'd like to give you a big triple hello. Thank you very much. It genuinely helps. Anyway, this has been Glass Half Dead. I hope you've had a good day and continue to have a good day. Isn't the weather lovely? Goodbye.